Do you love the flavors of the summertime classic s'mores? Well, stay tuned, my little toasted marshmallows, because today I'm going to show you how to make quick and delicious s'mores cookies. Hi there, my name is Carly and welcome to my channel, Adventures in Yum. Before we get into today's video, I have a passion for learning about creating and trying new foods, drinks, and especially desserts. If you want to join me on my yummy adventures, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so that you'll know when I upload new videos every week. And now, let's dive into today's video. S'mores are a summer campfire staple, but today I'm serving them fresh from the oven with s'mores cookies. What's your favorite summer dessert? Let me know in the comments below. I first developed my graham cracker cookie recipe last summer when I entered an online dessert contest. I made this overindulgent, over-the-top s'mores cookie sandwich, and these graham cracker cookies served as the base for them. But after a little bit of thinking, I actually realized I could make a s'mores cookie out of this. So after a little bit of testing, I have two different versions that I'm going to share with you today. We're going to start these cookies by toasting the marshmallow bits. To an aluminum foil lined baking sheet, spread 1.5 cups or 70 grams of marshmallow bits into an even layer. For anyone who isn't sure, marshmallow bits are simply dehydrated mini marshmallows. Place that in the broiler and let that toast on one side. Once they start to get some pretty color, take the pan out of the oven and let it cool for about 1 to 2 minutes. When the marshmallows are a little bit cool, they are easier to break up, so now we're able to move them around and flip them upside down so that we can toast the other side. Pop the pan back into the broiler and get it toasty. This should only take about 1 to 2 minutes. Once that's done, set aside to completely cool while we mix up the dough. These mini marshmallows do have the possibility of burning and possibly catching fire if left under the broiler for too long, so please make sure that you exercise caution whether you use the broiler or even a kitchen torch. To start the batter, we add 2 cups or 240 grams of graham cracker crumbs, a half a cup or 70 grams of all-purpose flour, a quarter cup or 50 grams of granulated sugar, a quarter cup or 50 grams of brown sugar, half a teaspoon of baking soda, a quarter teaspoon of salt, and an optional half teaspoon of ground cinnamon to a mixing bowl. Once we give that a quick mix, set it aside. Next, to a separate large mixing bowl, we're adding 1 stick or half a cup or 110 grams of unsalted butter. Heat this in the microwave for about 20 to 30 seconds or until the butter is just melted. If you prefer, you can certainly melt the butter in a pan on the stove. Once the butter is melted, we're adding the dry ingredient mixture and mixing everything together. Now we're adding 2 large room temperature eggs and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and mixing it until everything is just combined. Set this aside either on the countertop or pop it into the refrigerator for about 5 minutes or so. This will allow the butter to cool and ensure that it will not be too hot and melt the chocolate chips and marshmallow bits. While the dough chills, break up the marshmallow bits that have completely cooled by now. Once that's done, set aside a couple of tablespoons of the toasted marshmallow bits for later. Now, we add the bulk of the toasted marshmallow bits and 5 ounces or 140 grams of mini chocolate chips. Mix everything until it's just combined. Once our dough is all mixed together, we're scooping it onto a parchment paper lined baking sheet. Here I'm using a medium-sized cookie scoop because I think that it results in a nice sized cookie. Next, add a few of the toasted marshmallow bits we reserved earlier to the top of each cookie in order to make them look even better once they've been baked. Bake these at 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 191 degrees Celsius for 8 to 10 minutes. Once they've come out of the oven, let them cool on the baking sheet for about 5 minutes before transferring them to a cooling rack or a storage container. Before we check out the second version of this cookie, make sure to hit that like button, click subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified about my latest video. These cookies are made the exact same way as the first version, except we don't add toasted marshmallow bits. In this version, we mix up the dough, let it chill, and then only mix in the mini chocolate chips. Once the cookies are scooped onto the cookie sheet, bake them the same as before at 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 191 degrees Celsius for 8 to 10 minutes. Once they come out of the oven, let them slightly cool before proceeding to the next step. So I tried making a little dip with my thumb before they baked, but that didn't work because it just filled up once it baked. So I took one of my mini measuring cups that looks like a shot glass and used the bottom to gently press into the center of the cookie. Make sure not to press all the way down because you will break the cookie. Now we're using a piping bag to add a little bit of marshmallow fluff to the center of the cookies. Don't add too much though, I actually realized later that what I added here was too much. Next, we're using a kitchen torch to toast the marshmallow. Once again, please be very careful with this because the marshmallow can and will catch on fire. Also, please make sure to not burn the tops of the cookies. I love that these ones give me more of that gooiness that I absolutely love about marshmallows. However, marshmallow fluff becomes very runny, and because I filled mine so much, I could only find one pretty one to take a picture of. They're definitely tasty and keep your cookies really moist, but make sure to store them completely flat unless you want marshmallow fluff to run out of the cookies and all over your storage container. You can also find the written recipe available on my website, adventuresandyum.net, and the link for that is in the description below. If you're interested in checking out some of the products that I used in this video, please make sure to check the video description below for their Amazon links. Thank you so much for joining me today, my little toasted marshmallows. I'll see you next time for another yummy adventure.